So, it's been a while since the incident where we were assimilated by the Mirror Universe Borg Kingdom, and in light of that harrowing event, we've been placed on leave on Riser to recover. The Armitage is undergoing repairs at the Vulcan Eridani A shipyard, and at least Hale can take this time for himself to get his head straight. No strangeness or wacky events to deal with at the moment, just the sunset, breeze, and a quiet walk in the...
Thank you for coming. My name is Dan.
Good, you made it. Wasn't looking forward to dealing with this by myself. Our holo emitters are doing their job, and the bombings should happen soon. Once that's finished, we can get started.
Excuse me. Okay, I'm here. 7 of 9 is here. My crew's here. We're in civilian clothing, and we're surrounded by a holo emitter that's disguising us, and I have a splitting headache. I have vague recollections of a briefing with Daniels. Let's start with the hologrid. What's this?
Right now, we're effectively invisible inside this holo shield. Once we're ready to move out, we'll drop it, and our personal emitters will kick in. Think of them as a sophisticated disguise kit. They'll make us look like we belong here. To the locals, we'll look like a band of 21st century humans wandering around the woods of Montana. Any other questions?
Ah, yes, Montana, 21st century.
Daniel said this might happen. Something to do with the effect of chronoton flux on short-term memory. You gotta love temporal mechanics.
Yes. I'm guessing my status as a temporal agent has been reactivated and I'm here to do something?
Yeah, we've been sent back in time to fix a problem. It's April 4th, 2063, the day before first contact. This is the missile complex where humanity's first warp-capable vessel was launched.
Okay. As I recall, that was already the site of some temporal interference, but the crew of the Enterprise E solved it, so...
The Borg are the problem. They're here, and they're trying to change history in their favor. History says the Borg failed because of Picard and the crew of the Enterprise, but as of now, history's wrong. Somehow the Borg managed to pull victory from the jaws of defeat tonight. We're here to make sure that doesn't happen.
Ah yes, this point of history is a bit contested.
Okay, the bombing should end quickly thanks to the Enterprise. We're gonna need to move fast once things stop exploding.
She's correct. There should not be Borg groundside in this event, so this is a change we need to counter. And of course it had to be the Borg again, didn't it? Well, I have some payback to exact. There hasn't been sign of further bombardment, so we lower the holo emitter.
Right, let's get moving. We need to get to the complex quickly. So much for the bombing run. Enterprise must have finished off the Borg vessel.
That's as history says it was.
We are the Borg. Your biological and technological distinctiveness will be added to our own. Resistance is futile.
That, however, is not as history recalls it.
After all this time, they still haven't learned. Resistance is inevitable.
We engage a small array of drones and notice another patrol heading towards us. We need to keep them away from the populated areas and hope that our phaser fire does not draw more attention.
Complex took some hits. Let's check for survivors.
And don't forget to remodulate your weapon frequencies whenever you have time. From here we can see the Warp 1 complex, a converted American missile silo from World War III, now home to a small community. It's from here that the Phoenix will launch tomorrow, and we know that the crew of the Enterprise E is currently down here too, on the same mission, but we cannot interact with them and risk contaminating the timeline anymore.
I'm not picking up any Borg life signs in the complex.
Well, that's something.
Picard and his people should be here now. Let's make sure before we move on. Okay, my tricorder's picking up multiple subspace comm signals in the area.
Okay. Federation comm badges or the Borg, or both?
Some of them are Starfleet, but they're coming from inside the missile silo. Probably protecting Zephram Cochrane. The rest of the signals are coming from the southwest. Any guesses as to the source?
Well, I'm guessing those would be the Borg then.
Got it in one. Looks like they managed to send down a few landing parties before their ship blew up. Chances are they're here to make our lives difficult. I think it's time we return the favor.
Heading off, we do indeed encounter another patrol of drones, which are quickly dispatched, but making their way unnervingly close to the complex. Beyond them, we can find a group of drones seemingly salvaging components from some nearby ruined cars, amid the craters from their initial orbital attack.
Heads up, there are drones ahead.
Your defenses are insufficient. You will be assimilated.
Inaccurate. Also, hello, is that propane? Yep. Welcome to the 21st century. After dispatching this group of drones, we take a look around the ruined area. These abandoned cars are a reminder of the state of the world in the wake of the war. And from the ashes rises a phoenix.
There are lights over there. Looks like a camp of some kind. The Borg will be drawn to it like moths to a flame. We need to protect the locals.
Yeah, these guys are pretty far away from the rest of the complex. We should check in.
Picking up life signs ahead. Some of them are Borg.
Well, they have seen them.
What do you want? Get away from us!
You will be assimilated. You will adapt to serve the collective.
What the hell are those things? Robots? Zombies? Robot zombies?
I was afraid something like this would happen. Take out those drones.
And watch your fire, you don't want to end up tasing someone's great-great-granddad. Watch the fire, I said.
Okay, we're gonna need to do a memory wipe on the locals. They can't remember the Borg.
Frankly, it's a miracle they're still alive.
Setting your tricorder to emit a neurolytic pulse should work.
Oh my god. Get me a black suit and sunglasses. Excuse me, sir, if you look just right at the light, it'll explain everything. You know the difference between you and me? You make this look good. Wait, no, hang on. Damn it.
Looks like the Borg have changed their tactics. They're avoiding Cochrane and the Enterprise crew and focusing on assimilating the locals. Makes sense. After they lost their ship, they lost their numerical advantage.
Yeah, from what we know, there's a whole bunch on the Enterprise, but we need to stop them down here. The civilians are defenseless.
No argument here. I ran a quick scan of these drones. There's several references in their onboard nav systems to a location north of here. Designation Resource Node 01. We should check this out. Whatever they're up to isn't a good thing. Alright, this area's clear. Picking up Borg signals to the north, though.
Hey, do you think this guy kinda looks like me? I don't want to think about it.
Apparently Resource Node 01 is a garbage dump. It smells wonderful. There must be something of tactical value here. Let's make sure they don't find it.
Let's also hope that these explosions aren't going to carry too far either, although, let's be fair, I doubt anyone's going to come and investigate with the recent attack.
Great. This place smells and it's swarming with drones. Take them down. Let's see if we can figure out what they were looking for here.
We've split up to look for clues, investigating the piles of junk that the Borg were accruing.
Power amplifiers, copper tubing, and lithium batteries. Oh, hell. I think I know what they're doing here, and it's not good.
Copper tubing, lithium batteries, and wait, you can make a lot of stuff with that junk. Go on then, what's your theory?
Fair point. I think they're trying to build a transporter. They might have lost their ship, but there's a lot of Borg still on Enterprise. If they can beam those drones down here, this situation will go from bad to worse.
Ah, so the new plans to relocate.
Complex isn't far. Let's make sure it's secure and then work on finding and dealing with this bootleg transporter.
We've got quite the trek through the woodland back to the complex, and fortunately no more drones to see. The only ones left must be at their makeshift transporter site. As we close in though, lively music catches our ear.
No sign of the Borg. Run a scan, make sure Picard's team is all accounted for.
Yes, they should be making contact with Zephram Cochrane about now, I think.
I'm picking up Starfleet comm badges inside the bar and... Hold on. More Starfleet comm badges inbound, but they're on Borg drones.
Okay, don't turn down that music. Looks like I spoke too soon, although these ones are wearing Starfleet uniforms. Not good. Looks like the transporters might be operational then.
Fair to say the Borg finished making their transporter. Those were assimilated Starfleet officers from Enterprise. Let's sweep the perimeter and make sure there aren't any Borg going after Cochrane.
Right, and we should also check the bar just to make sure we've not disturbed events.
Who is this jerk? Don't call to make a turn off my music.
Will Riker? Zephram Cochrane.
Well, he sounds okay. Mostly.
Good friend of yours?
Yes.
Husband?
No.
Good. Now this, Deanna.
Deanna.
This is the good.
Well, I'd like to stand here and listen all day, but we've got a mission to accomplish. One of the many adventures that cemented the Enterprise E as having an amazing legacy. I read the reports about what happened to that ship, and man, it's crazy. I mean, at least Captain Worf... Oh, never mind.
Okay, the perimeter's clear. I'm thinking that transmission tower's our next stop.
Yeah, I think that's where the remainder of the drones are gathered, so we make our ascent to the tower, encountering some resistance along the way. It seems to be built amid an abandoned construction yard. Perhaps there were plans to create a communications outpost here during the war, but that never happened.
And there it is, one bootleg Borg transporter. We need to take it out before this place is crawling with drones.
Agreed. I could go get more propane tanks.
There are 3 transporter pads. Each of them is powered by an array. I can send a feedback pulse from each array to the transporter pad it powers. It should be enough to overload and destroy the pad.
Fine. Although the Borg will probably work out what you're doing.
Yeah, there's that. You're gonna need to keep them off me while I work, or this plan will go sideways real fast. After we've taken care of the transporter pads, we'll deal with any drones in the area. And if we're lucky, that'll take care of this temporal crisis once and for all.
And if this doesn't work, do we have a backup for the backup plan?
Let's cross that bridge when we come to it, okay? Right now, we have a transporter to shut down. You ready to do this?
Sure.
Get me to the first array and I'll start disabling their transporter.
We can see that the Borg have been busy and are clustered around the 3 transporters they've constructed. It looks like they gathered and repurposed the raw materials from the abandoned construction machines left around here, as well as the salvage they found from around the scrap piles.
This won't take long. They're using a simple modulating cycle. Alright, this one's done. Let's go. 2 to go. Stay sharp. They know we're up to something. They're onto us. Security protocols just spiked, and not in a good way.
Wait, security protocols can spike in a good way? Man, red barrels explode easier when you've got energy weapons.
2 down. That last one's gonna be a real bitch. Only 1 left. Stay with me. We can do this.
We have analyzed your tactics. We have adapted. We are Borg.
Adapt all you like, you're not gonna get past me.
Taking fire here. Do something about that, okay?
Well, shit.
They're using a fractal self-replicating security protocol. Go as fast as I can. Got it. The transporter's out of commission.
Nice, let's take care of the remaining drones. With the rest of the Borg down here taken care of, the only ones remaining in the system are the ones that made it aboard the Enterprise E in orbit, but history says that this is a problem that Picard and the crew managed to deal with. So we busy ourselves by double-checking the area down here. Amid the concrete blocks, pallets are rusted Borgified machines, all connected to a central radio tower that was doubling as a transporter array. It's quite ingenious to see how they've used these structures that were already here as scaffolding on which to build their machines.
I think we're through the worst of it. I'm not picking up any Borg activity in the area. Nice work.
Right, so apart from all this assimilated tech lying around, things are back to, well, the normal level of Borg interference in the Vulcan-human first contact. So how does this bode for the temporal crisis?
Over as far as you're concerned. I'll deal with all this Borg tech lying around. It's a mess, but my nanites will make short work of it. As for you, feel free to return to the present. Take a break, have a drink. You've definitely earned it.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like this was very therapeutic. Still, it's time to return to orbit. The Armiger's not awaiting us. Instead, we have the cloaked temporal ship, the Edgerunner, that's couriered us here. This point in time is more knotted than you might think. Not only did the Borg intervention potentially alter the Prime timeline moving forwards with their first incursion, subsequent manipulations from the temporal Cold War factions, from Romulans to Krenim and even more Borg, have led to a myriad of branching timelines. One such is the canonicity of the book series, and may even be the origin of the universe of STO. So, thank you for watching this side story mission from the universe of Star Trek Online, one of several such tales that unfold as seasonal events for a limited time. So, until the next video, I have been Rick, and thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time for another. Until then, goodbye.